it's your host Noah Schlicks up here on Schlick Sports. Happy New Year, everybody. Haven't posted since December, so a little late. Happy New Year to everybody. And today I'm going to be bringing you some Jaguars content, something I want to do more of on this channel. I got some fun, new, different kind of style type things, and it's starting today with my not so big board of head coaching candidates. I'm going to break down some of the rumors, who I want hired, and some potential situations where we could see some of these guys, especially in this column here, hired in different roles on the coaching staff. So without further ado, let's get into it. So let's start from the beginning. Urban Meyer, obviously, giant failure in Jacksonville. That did not go well. However, this team has managed somehow to triple their win total from 1 to 3 last year and break the AFC playoffs at the same time with their win over the Colts yesterday. And now the page is turned. A little bit of optimism going into the offseason. And of course, we got our not so big board here. These are the candidates. These are guys who have interviewed or are requested to interview. Some guys who were recently fired either yesterday or today around the NFL who I think I could see landing here in Jacksonville. But first off, I want to start with just by talking about Jim Caldwell here and why I do not want him hired as Jaguars head coach. And that's simply because he's 66 years old. If he was a few years younger, maybe. But just the fact that, he's had success. The resume speaks for itself. But I want him hired in a different role. I want someone who could be here for a longer period of time if hired, which is why I want to start over in the new and improved section over here. And first up, we're going to be talking about Byron Leftwich, 41 years old, offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay. 3 years he's run a historically good offense out there in Tampa. And I know a lot of people will say, he's got Tom Brady. He ran a great offense over there with Jameis Winston and company in 2019. Of course, Jameis had the interception problem. He also led the league in touchdown passes. And I believe they almost made the playoffs that year, if I'm not mistaken. I could be way off on that. But Byron Leftwich, I think, is a great candidate. He's a first-round pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars back in the early 2000s. Passed for over 10,000 yards his NFL career as a quarterback. He's a guy I think would be great, especially for Trevor Lawrence. Being around Tom Brady, bringing that kind of culture over to Jacksonville. He's a guy who is loved by all the players. Nothing bad I've heard about him come out of anyone's mouth. In fact, I was on a Twitter space earlier this year. Shout out Edilla Mio O'Brien for setting that up. And Leonard Fournette popped in, Buccaneers running back, former Jags running back, and he had nothing but good things, high praise for Byron Leftwich, and said he hopes they don't hire him. He hopes no one hires him. He wants him to stay in Tampa. However, I think he would be a great candidate for the Jaguars. That's a guy who is in my top 3. Now, the next person I want to talk about is Kellen Moore. And the first thing a lot of people are going to bring up about Kellen Moore is his lack of experience. A lot of Jags fans want a coach who has a lot of experience in the NFL and a coach who has especially head coaching experience in the National Football League. And I get that, but Kellen Moore in his 3 years with the Cowboys, though he's only 33, I think we need more younger head coaches hired in the NFL, and this guy is going to be a great one. In Dallas, the former NFL quarterback went 50-3 at Boise State, by the way. That's tough to do as a starting quarterback. He has greatly improved the Dallas offense, and especially been good for Dak Prescott, who was still a young QB. We got Trevor Lawrence over here. If he can do something like this with Trevor, this hire would be a win. Dak Prescott, before Kellen, his best season was his rookie year, 2016, completed 67.8% of his passes with a 23-4 touchdown to interception ratio. He threw for less than 4,000 yards that season. Don't believe he was around 3,800. But after the Kellen Moore hire, he immediately popped off. His first year with Kellen as his QB coach, man, he had never thrown for more than 3,900 yards until 2019. That year, he threw for nearly 5,000. 30 touchdowns, only 11 interceptions, only completed 65% of his passes, but that was about to improve because the next year, Kellen Moore hired as the offensive coordinator. And all remember, there was MVP talk By the way, he was playing in 2020, 68% completion percentage. That's going up under Moore's play calling. And then he gets hurt. But 2021, he has come back even better. He is having his best season this year. 37 touchdowns to only 10 interceptions, 4,500 passing yards. This Cowboys offense is so fun to watch week in, week out. They were even good without that Dak Prescott in that one game against Minnesota, which they won, by the way. Kellen Moore, he is my favorite. He is the guy I want hired here in Jacksonville. And if he is hired, I want someone from this column hired with him, just so he has that experience on his staff. But Kellen Moore is my favorite, and that is why. Now, I'm not going to go quite as in-depth with the rest of these guys in the new and improved section. I'm going to go right away and eliminate Matt Eberflus, just because, his defense got destroyed by the Jaguars yesterday. Trevor Lawrence, look out. He had the best, that was his breakout game. That's a story for another time, though. Defensive coordinator, I want more of an offensive-minded guy, just because Trevor Lawrence, you need to have an offensive mind with him. And that is, at least at head coach, that's what I believe. So I'm going to eliminate Matt Eberflus. Todd Bowles as well. Both guys who are interviewed, both guys who are good candidates for an NFL head coach position. However, I just don't think they fit the Jaguars great. And Nathaniel Hackett's interesting over in Green Bay. He's got Devontae Adams. He's got Aaron Rodgers. Running a good offense. I'll keep him in consideration, but he's not in my top 3. Now over to the recently fired section. Mike Zimmer is not a guy I want as my head coach right now, nor Vic Fangio. However, I'm gonna write a little that next to their names. Drop my marker. 1 second. Got it back. Power of editing. I want those guys. Those are guys who, if we hire a guy like Byron Leftwich, if we hire a guy like Kellen Moore, I want in a position on their staff, guys who have experience. Mike Zimmer, tons of success over there in Minnesota. And, overall, he's not one of the best coaches in the NFL, no. But he's an experienced guy who's been in charge of some really good teams, consistently good teams. And that is why I would like him on the staff. Vic Fangio, as the Bears defensive coordinator, you remember, that was Super Bowl caliber defense with a way below average offense. That's the reason they made it as far as they did in the playoffs, and then the double doink. Brian Flores, there's some rumors going around about why he was fired, but for now I'm going to keep him in consideration because with a below average Dolphins team, in my opinion, he just won 7 out of 8 of their last games, and then last year took them to the playoffs, or nearly did. Had a fantastic season. No one saw it coming. He's a good coaching mind. He's a guy who is young, and I might want on my staff, but we're going to have to watch that situation. Over to former head coaches now, Jim Caldwell, already given my thoughts about him. Next up, we got Doug Peterson and the Philly special. Could it be the Duval special? That is yet to be known. He's already interviewed for the head coaching position, and Doug Peterson's an interesting candidate in my mind. He didn't get much of a chance after that losing season in Philly. He had a couple of more down years, but he had 2 straight 9-7 seasons before he was fired, which, that was a bit of a surprise to me. And, only in his low 50s, he's a guy who I understand he's not the most exciting hire. He's a safe hire, and he's a guy with experience. Won a Super Bowl, obviously, with Nick Foles. Props on that. He's in my top 3. He's my pick from this experienced former head coach section. Now, Jim Harbaugh. He's in my top 5. I don't think he's going to come to Jacksonville. He's going to go to a place like Miami, I believe. He's heading to Miami or Las Vegas. Jim Harbaugh, one of the best coaches to ever come out collegiately. I don't see him coming here to Jacksonville, and, I'm just going to cross him out for that reason. Bill O'Brien, not even going to talk about him. We should all be on the same page there. And that's really all I got for you guys. If I had to pick on this staff, I want Kellen Moore. That's who I want hired. If we don't go Kellen Moore, Doug Peterson, just that experience. And then Byron Leftwich, obviously. He'd be a really good pick. I might put him at 2. But Kellen Moore is who I want hired. I've given you my reasons why. And on his staff, I want Jim Caldwell hired to help him out. Because Jim Caldwell, through his years as a head coach. Absolutely outstanding record. Not as much against winning teams, but hey, he had the Colts and the Lions. I mean, those are some tougher teams to coach, especially the Lions there. I like Jim Caldwell. He'd be a really good guy to have on Kellen Moore's staff. Mike Zimmer, Vic Fangio are guys I'd really consider as well to bring in here. Some experience, really good football minds. And that's really all I got for you on the coaching carousel right now. May bring you another one of these videos as we go along. We'll have to see, but now I'm going to get to editing this video, get this posted. I hope you guys enjoy it, and leave your comments below. I want to see what you guys think about all this. Give me your thoughts. I know a lot of these guys, if you don't agree with me, if you want Jim Caldwell hired as a head coach, give me your reason why in the comments. We'll debate on that. And for now, I'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed this video.